Hey, I'm Daniel Moss, and today we'll be playing Gold Rush. Now, I'm going to split this video up into 3 parts. The first part is going to be the land route to California. Second part is going to be the Panama Canal and Cape Horn routes. And the third part is going to be the game from California. So we're playing as Jared Wilson right in the beginning of the Gold Rush. It is Brooklyn Heights, 1848. Now, the first thing we'll notice in the game, if we hit tab, we do have an inventory, which is nice because it tells us we do have our house key, and we do have $15 in cash. Now, this is our house right here, and since we're heading to California, we will want to sell our house. This is a difficult decision, but we put it up to sale. Now, the first thing that annoyed me in this game when I played it again after the years of not playing it is you don't realize the gate is locked, so we actually have to type in unlock gate. And the same goes for the door as well. Alright, the next thing we want to do is open up our memory book here. Memories. It's a family photo book, and really the only thing that will matter about this book is actually the photo in the end. So we actually want to take this photo, and that's all we need the book for. Now, the next important thing is the desk. We want to close our desk. It's a roll-top desk. On it, we find a crumpled up statement, so we want to take the statement. Whoops. Now, the statement will come in handy when we go to the bank. We have to read the statement in order to find what our bank number is. Now, the next step we want to take is we want to wait for the man in white who has cash. He will buy our house. So if we just go back and forth a couple times, he should show up. There he is. Now, he is actually going to pay us $850 in cash for our house. And our friend right there, Mr. Quill, will actually take care of all our other stuff in the house, so we don't even have to worry about that. Alrighty. So at this point in the game, if you want to press escape, you can actually speed it up a little bit by going into the speed menu, press fast. I usually do this as this game does walk fairly slow. Now, the next thing we have is the gazebo in the park here. Now, the gazebo is actually filled with memories. You can remember as a child, you actually dropped toys in the cracks. So we want to look into the cracks of the gazebo here. Oh, look at that, a gold coin. So we want to get coin. And that will come in very handy. Now, if you forget to get the gold coin in the beginning, you'll actually have to restart the game, because that is what you're going to need to get the gold pan in California. Oh no, look what I've done. Now, the problem with doing that right there is, since we accidentally walked on the grass, that actually takes away a point from us. So in order to actually continue on, if you want all the points, you're going to have to restart the game. Now, I really don't care, so I'm just going to get our flour. Now, we are going to take them to our mother and father's grave up in the graveyard. Next thing we want to do is head up here and actually look in the poster inside the building here. Now, if you want to come back and do the Panama Canal or Cape Horn route, that is the boat that you're going to want to go see. So the next thing we want to do is go to the bank here and retrieve our money. So we want to look at our statement. So our bank account number is 194. So we want our money. Excellent. So the next thing we want to do is go to the post office. And we want to pick up our mail from our brother. So to get this guy's attention, we want to ring bell. And I always thank the man. So we want to pick up our letter. We want to open letter. We want to look at the stamp. We want to remove stamp. Hey, look, a gold flake. Jake has found gold. And the next thing we want to do is look at the postmark. Sutter's Fort. So that will be our destination. Now, up here is our office. We're a newspaper man. This is where we work. The next two sets of points that we want from this building are going to be we want to read the newspaper clippings up at the top in your office. Although they won't let you take them, and it says you've read them often, for some reason we need to read them again. That was the story of Jake, your older brother who had to move away because of a crime that he was falsely committed of. Now we want to go down here and tell our boss to shove it. Now the next thing we want to head and do real quick is go down to the cemetery and leave flowers for our mother and father. Now, if you forget to read their tombstone, well, they don't give you the points for that. Unfortunately, your mother and father were taken away tragically by a carriage accident. Now, curiously enough, if we read the letter from our brother Jake here, it says, "This letter is of great importance. I live in the area drained by the American River. Today I buried Pa in a nearby cemetery. Only you will understand." Now, also, this letter has particular holes in the envelope, so that is one other thing that we'll have to remember. Now, if you do take your time with this game, just remember that if you take more than 14 minutes, the game's prices increase dramatically. So, the $200 ticket that we will take to buy the land route, it will actually cost us $950 if we take too long. At this point, we do want to save our files here. You'll want to make several you want to make several save files because in the game it'll actually kill you several times. If you actually can play through the game without dying, that is a very, very low chance. Now, since we are going to take the land route, just have to go over here to the stagecoach and pick up our ticket. Now, you can go over to the store and buy shovels and picks and whatnot, but it's really not going to make a difference because you will lose all that in the land route. Alright, now that we have our ticket, we have to go over to the stables and find the midget who we give the ticket to. Now we will need to get his attention, so we want to talk. Oh, gotta get a little bit closer. He'll wait outside here. Now you want to watch out, you don't want to hit that horse there. That horse will kick you if you get too close. Just another way the game tries to kill you. Let's see, I have 57 points of the possible 60. I can't remember if getting in the stagecoach will give me points. I may have missed something, but the nice thing is once we actually get on the ferry, the game will remind us of what we have missed. Now, it does look like the only thing I missed was the fact that we were not supposed to step on the grass. Now, if you actually stay on the grass too long, a policeman will come and give you a ticket. So if you don't want to wait for all this, you can actually speed up the game here. Of course, sometimes it is broken, so looks like fast is the fastest it's going to let us go. I have 59 points out of the 60 points available in Brickland. Please obey the signs. Now, in this game, really don't worry about going up and looking at a walkthrough or reading a how-to booklet on how to play this game. Honestly, the original copy that I had back in the day actually came with a walkthrough guide. Now, you can keep messages the first time you're playing the game, but I usually suppress the messages as it does make the gameplay a little bit faster. Switching from steamboat to steamboat, we're making our way across the Midwest. And in a moment here, we will meet up with our cabin folk. Oh, looks like I'm about to die. Yep. Unfortunately, this is one of the moments in the game that it will kill you randomly. I have cholera, and I will not last very long. It's just going to take a moment, and I will drop dead. I'm getting farther than I usually do. Yep, there I go. There was nothing I could do. Sometimes terrible things happen. So, we want to restore back to where we were. Now, that was a series of unfortunate events. Unfortunately, because of how fast I was actually playing the game, I think it killed me. I actually ended up dying of cholera about 5 or 6 times. Then when I actually went to reset the game, because I thought that was what was going on, I got trampled over by a horse. Well, successfully, I was able to get all 60 points in the beginning of that level. And now that we're here in camp, the first thing we want to do is actually talk to our captain. Whoops. Now the captain here is going to ask us for some money. So the first thing we want to do is give him our money. Now the captain here is going to give us a job. He's going to send us out to get some animals so we can haul our luggage. So the next thing I'm going to do, actually, before we go ahead and get the animals, is I'm going to talk to this gentleman right here. Now this guy here is going to give us a Bible. Now no matter what route you take, you actually end up needing to pick up a Bible. And the main reason for that is it will help you decode the message Jake has given you when we actually get to the tombstone in Sutter's Fort. Now this man here will sell us our animals. Now we have 3 options. We can get mules, young oxen, or mature oxen. We actually want to pick up the mature oxen because the young mules, the young oxen will not actually carry our luggage the entire way, and the mules will actually get stolen by the Indians. So we want to tell him we need mature oxen. Oh, I'm sorry. A little bit of a brain fart there. Alright, now we want to talk to the captain again and let him know that we got the animals that he requested. And the next job he is going to give us is to look out on the plains and tell him when we are ready to go. Now basically when we go up to the north end of camp here, we see the nice plains. Now we actually have to wait until this starts turning green. You don't want to wait until this turns green entirely or you'll actually get caught up in a winter storm. And you don't want to go before it turns mostly green because then you'll get caught up in the mud. Now, at this point of the game, you do want to save again. I usually save once before and once after it turns green. Now, the reason for that is on the next leg of the journey, there is an instance of where we will randomly die by falling off a raft. So you want a good restore point for that. Alright, now that the plains are finally turning green, we're going to go ahead and save the game again. One to a separate waiting file. And right about now, we're going to go ahead and tell our captain it is time to go west. Alright, like I said, we'll see here if we end up dying on the raft. And yes, we do. So now we're going to go restore from our last save point. And see if we wait a little bit longer that we don't die this time. Hey, it looks like we survived this time. Now, usually if you play through this the first time, there's actually going to be messages that you'll read throughout the way. It'll actually tell you some history of the Gold Rush. And at this point, it actually will tell us the landmarks. If I open up the messages here, like Chimney Rock. So I'm going to go ahead and suppress the messages again, though. Now, this is where I said in the beginning you could actually buy a couple things. But at this point, because they're lightening up the load, you would actually have to get rid of it anyway. So there was no point in buying anything for this leg of the journey. So it was letting you know that you did keep the Bible, the family photo, the gold coin, just the items that you could keep on hand. Alright, now we're to the next section of the game. Now, the animals are really thirsty at this point, so they are going to rush straight down to the river. Now, the problem with that is you're still attached to the wagons, so the first thing we want to do is actually unhitch the wagon. Now, the nice thing is that we don't have to walk down or anything. The oxen just automatically go back up. The funny thing is they don't change the animation at all, so they just go up backwards. Now, the next thing as well, the wagon train is still too heavy for the oxen to carry, so if they go down, it'll just keep going down real quick and just break apart like all the other ones were down there. Now, at first, it kind of annoyed me because I was trying to tell the game to brake or put on brakes, and it kept telling me that there is no brakes on the wagon. So what you actually have to do is lock the wheels. And that's all you have to do for this leg of the journey. Now, with the messages suppressed, this is a much, much faster game. If you were to read through this whole section, it would be about 15 minutes of reading. Although, even with the messages suppressed, it does take a good long time for this to actually make it over. It's just a shame that you couldn't just click enter and go to the next section. Now, this next section always drove me crazy when I played this game when I was younger. You're starved and you're thirsty, and there's nothing in the wagon that you can eat or drink. Now, over here, there is a wagon that was abandoned before. Now, I've done a couple look commands, and I can't quite figure out exactly what I'm supposed to do. When you do press look, it says there is a barrel on the side here. Now, you can drink the water in the barrel. But the one thing that always drove me crazy is I didn't ever read that there was meat as well. So you actually have to eat the meat, the magic meat, that is apparently there. On the way again, and this is the last leg of the journey before we actually get to Sutter's Fort. I have gotten all the points so far in the game, and that is great. We are now at Sutter's Fort, so if you want to just continue the game from here, you can continue straight on to my part 3 when I put that out. But if you want to see the alternate 2 routes, they're actually much harder than this particular route. Just see my part 2.